All right, Aiden,
Elliot.
we're here.
We are.
We're back.
Sir.
1 year later.
It's crazy.
So, last year, around this time, our first interview, you came to the festival, and you came just to support.
Just to support.
Just to check it out, and now you are back, and you performed.
Yes.
And you just performed, an hour ago?
About that.
How was that experience for you?
Oh, my God, man. It was amazing. I'm not going to lie, I was scared. It's my third festival ever. First, I would say, rap-leaning festival. Didn't know how people was going to react, but Lyrical brings out a good crowd, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was lit.
And so do you. So I know last year you were talking about Snot, Ski. You were excited to see them perform. Were you able to catch anyone else this year?
I wasn't, man. We got fucked up with travel.
Damn.
So I wasn't able to see anybody. Actually, I caught OGZ's set a little bit after mine, which was sick. But I was wanting to see Playboy Cardi. Didn't get the chance.
You're gonna just miss him.
I know.
I think your flight leaves right when Cardi starts.
I know. It's a
unfortunate. All right. So since our last interview, a lot has changed for you, and this is a very vague question, but how has the last year been for you?
I think it's just been all building blocks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 tours this year. I got my first car. I got closer with my family. You know, it's all building blocks. I think this year was just and is still the perfect year that's going to lean into next year. You know what I mean?
I love that. You said first tour, you said first car, but what hit the hardest right there is got closer with your family.
Yes,
I love to hear it. I love to hear it.
Yeah, man, as time goes on, I feel like, I'm getting older. I mean, I'm only 19 now, but the older I get, the more I realize how important it is to be close to your family, you know? And I learned a lot of that this year, so it feels good.
I love that. I have a gift for you.
Okay. Yeah, I would never turn down a gift. Oh, my gosh, you got it in the box. Let's go. Can I?
Please.
May I? Ooh, yerba mate. Let's go, man.
Our last interview, we had the Yerba Fridge,
Yes,
and we had no Bluephoria. Yes. You were heard about it. So this time around, got you the Bluephoria, and I got you a Milky Way, just in case.
Hey, I love Milky Way, and I love Bluephoria. It's my favorite.
So last year, you were here right before Chasing Harmony dropped. How has that project changed everything for you?
You know, it's crazy because that project is still totally slept on, and I'd be lying if I say it was them songs that, blew me up and changed my life in the past year. But to have those songs and have that first little, mini project out, it's such, a freeing feeling, you know? I feel like I'm ready for the next big project, you know? I'm ready to go make a new album and put that out into the world.
Speaking of this new album, what are you currently working on? Tell me about it if you can.
I mean, I'm making music every single day, always, forever. But I'm about to go out to Jamaica in a few weeks and lock out for a little bit, and hopefully, or not hopefully, will make, one of the best albums of all time. So I'm excited for that.
Can you say anything else about that album? Does it have a name yet?
It's got a name, but I cannot say it.
Fair enough.
It's too cool. I can't let it go yet.
I saw you just recently got off that European tour.
Yes, sir.
How was that experience for you?
That experience was, how do I put it into a couple words? Learning confidence. I mean, one of the most amazing experiences of my life, getting to be there with my fans in a different continent and sharing my music with them live. But, it took a lot of confidence, to get on those stages where they were a little bit smaller. They were smaller shows, like 200 to 500 cap rooms, and a lot of people in there don't speak much English. Getting up on that stage is scary a little bit, but by the end of it, it was the best couple months of my whole life so far.
Do you enjoy touring? Like, especially overseas like that? I'm a homebody person. I like to be in my home. Does that make you anxious? Does that make you...
You know, it makes me anxious right before.
Mm-hmm.
Even with outside of touring festivals, right before I'm about to like when I'm at my house and I'm packing up my bag and I'm about to leave, I'm super anxious, stressed out because I'm like, and what is this about to look like? But as soon as I'm in it, I love it. It's everything. And as soon as I'm on the stage, I mean, that's my favorite place to be in the whole world. That's like my second home.
Mm-hmm.
I love getting to share my music with people live. It feels like I'm like actually getting my like real chance to show people who I am. So definitely love that shit.
On that tour, did you have a favorite city?
Berlin.
Why?
Because Berlin and Cologne, both in Germany, because they were the biggest crowds, and outside of that, they were the most lit crowd. Knew every word. I ended up doing 6 different encores for both of those shows. Yeah, man. What best? Like to define like what's like the best place? It depends on just who is the most in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And those places were the most in it. They wanted to be there the most. So those were my favorite.
6 encores is crazy.
It's funny. It sounds crazy like talking about it, but I remember like being in that moment and being like, all right, like, are we better do 7?
Mm-hmm. I watched a few of those vlogs that you were doing over there.
So,
One, just awesome content for your fans. Are you gonna keep doing more of those?
yeah, I think so. I just loved having it. You know what I mean? Like, even if 5, 10, 15 of my fans watched it now, to think like 30 years in the future that's gonna exist on the internet is amazing to me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep documenting it.
I love that. That's what I love about content and about interviews. That's why I do a lot of interviews. Like the thought that when me and you are both dead, what we're doing right now, like your kids could watch or your grandkids.
Yeah.
That's just cool, right?
It's amazing, man.
Hell
yeah.
How would you say the European shows differ from the American ones?
That's a hard question. I think a lot of artists I've talked to have said, man, Europe is like, it's way litter. Like, American shows are not as lit. I personally disagree. I think it all depends on not even where you at or, what festival you doing. I don't think any of that really matters. I think it's all just like what crowd you get in that day. You know what I mean? And I've performed in front of some crowds in Europe, in America that were just not as there. And then I've performed in some crowds, again, in America and Europe that wanted to be there. And they want to be there. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest, besides, obviously in Europe, not as many people there speaking English.
Yeah.
But I think people all over the world want to turn up and want to get crazy. So I think it's just depends on the crowd.
Arguably the most important question of this whole interview. What is your favorite SpongeBob episode?
Oh, no. That is important. Okay, my favorite SpongeBob episode is the episode where SpongeBob goes hunting for the jellyfish. Now, what is it called? I can't remember.
Firmly grasp it.
Is
It's
it?
like, no, remember Squidward's in the full body cast?
Yeah.
And they're trying to shove a jellyfish net in his hand?
Yeah.
And they're just screaming, firmly grasp it. That's a great episode.
That's amazing.
I've asked this question, I don't know, maybe like the last 10 artists I've interviewed. Haven't heard that one yet. My favorite one is Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay.
Remember that one? Where Squidward's the conductor? That's a classic.
That's such a classic episode. That made so many memes. That's awesome.
So that song you just did with Sleepy Hollow, Die Young, has been going crazy. How did you first connect with him?
I think it was his producer, Great John, who produced that beat. Just hit us, hit my team and was like, "Yo, like, Sleepy sampled this song. Here it is." They sent it after he already sampled it, and I mean, I was juiced on that. I was already a fan of Sleepy Hollow. I fucked with his music a lot already, so I mean, it was a no-brainer. They ended up flying me out to New York 2 days after that. Shot a music video with them. Got in the studio with bro, and yeah, man, it's amazing. I mean, the song is obviously doing really well. Honestly, not to say better than I expected, but a little bit better than I expected. It's going crazy.
It's going crazy. And the original was already super raw. And what I thought was interesting is most artists don't get sampled like that until years and years later.
Yeah.
That song's like a year or two old.
Dude, it's so interesting, and I honestly think it's genius on his part. I told him that when I met him. I was like, man, like, you're real smart for this, because just like you said, a lot of artists, I mean, talk about not being sampled, but a lot of artists don't sample other artists until it's something, really old. But the thought of sampling an artist on a song that's, popping and it's not that old, it's like, dropped in the last 5 years. It's kind of genius.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because it's still fresh in people's minds.
And it low-key is working to your benefit too, because you know how many people, I'm assuming, have listened to that song and been like, wait, who is this kid? What? And then they go through your catalog and then they hear the original and they're like, oh shit.
Exactly, man. It's definitely working to my benefit. What I thought about it when it was first like presented is like, okay, this is gonna push my music more into the hip hop world, which I want. I want my music to be big in every genre, Like I have some, so-called hits in alternative, and played around with bedroom pop and rock music. It's so cool. I want my music to be big in hip hop too. I think rap fans, hip hop fans lead the internet.
Facts.
So I saw that as my chance to move more into that world, and yeah, it's definitely doing that for me.
I love that. Aidan, can you explain what's going on in this photo?
Where the hell do you guys get this photo? Okay, story time. I wanted to prank my fans one day, and I thought, how can I prank my fans by not being too crazy? Okay, I'm gonna take a photo. It sounds so ridiculous. Take a photo and edit my eyebrows out. I did that. I posted it on the gram, pretended that they were shaved off completely. That's where that photo came from.
It looks real.
It looks real, man.
Yeah.
Them Snapchat filters go crazy.
There's whole threads on the internet of your fans trying to figure that out.
Are you serious?
And now they have the answer.
There you go.
That's
awesome.
I know you got to catch a flight. I got a few more questions for you.
That's cool.
What kind of impact have Nick and Clark had on you, not only like in your music career, but just in your life in general?
I think, for those of you who don't know, Nick and Clark are my managers. Clark works on the creative. Nick deals with the more business side of things. I think when I had no managers, I wasn't signed, I was just an independent artist working by myself, dropping music by myself, I had this massive fear of the business side of the music industry, whether that's labels, whether that's management. And I kind of had this interpretation of management and all that in my head that they were bad people for some reason. That's what I thought. And when it was Nick who reached out to me first, a little bit into 2020, and he showed me that a manager can be a good person, a dope person, someone who just wants to help you. We brought Clark into the picture. He's helped elevate my creative side a lot, just helped me explore and expand my mind. I think the impact they've had on me is just making what I do more dope.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I'm already a pretty cool person, and to have two super sick people by my side making me more cool is important. You know, because it can't be. What is it? Can't be a one-person army. Is that the metaphor?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right, you had to pick one. Who'd you pick? I'm just kidding. Would you eat grape-flavored Doritos?
Hell yeah. Easily. I'm crazy with food combinations. I'm not kidding. I'm kind of like known in my friend group for like mixing crazy foods.
What would you call them?
Grapitos. Easy. Y'all should make that a thing. Lyrical lemonade grapitos.
Lyrical Lemonade 347Aidan collab. Do you remember when you tweeted that?
Yeah, I do.
That was an old-ass tweet. I was digging the other day. Aiden, last question.
Hit me.
I've asked you this before, but now it's a new interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay, 5 years. I see myself 10 times doper, 10 times richer, and 10 times better at doing what I love.
Perfect.
I know you're off the Molly, that's why you're feeling naughty. Just know that you can walk away and never have